Now we get to the final classic King Diamond album, The Spider's Lullabye. Spider's Lullabye came out in 1995, and the artwork for it's kind of weird. There's two different versions, and one of them is just kind of like a white circle. You see a spider web there, and the other one's just a spider sort of hanging from a web. I prefer the original. Now with this album, and I think the album after The Graveyard, masters for them were so terrible they actually had the guitarist remaster them, and the remaster does sound very good and clear. And nothing on here sounds really cheesy or anything, it all sounds very good. So the lineup changed again for this album. We have Herb Simonson on guitar along with Andy LaRocque, as he's always there. Then we have Chris Estes on bass and Darren Anthony on drums. Now, something very unique with this album, which I think was actually a very good idea, was that they don't have a full concept album for this one. It's a half concept, sort of like the first album, Fatal Portrait. This one, though, it's the second half of the album. It's all one concept, and the concept itself is not that good, but every other song has its own little good thing, and that's why the first half of this album is just so incredibly strong. So the first song we have is From the Other Side. This song has some awesome speed metal oriented stuff. This whole album is almost the entire time is just speed metal and thrash metal, some hardcore stuff. And there's some really incredible vocal harmonies and organ work from King Diamond during the chorus. And this song is about someone having an out-of-body experience and struggling to get back into reality. Then we have the song Killer. What's funny is this song used to be one of my least favorite from the album. Now I absolutely love it. It's thrashy, so Merciful Fate-ish, it's insane. There's some awesome heavy galloping riffs and it keeps changing. The bass work on there is very cool. The chorus on there is very cool too. You have King Diamond hitting these great high notes saying, "I am a killer!" Some incredible overlapping vocal harmonies during that part as well. And some really awesome guitar solos in the song as well. Another amazing song from this album. Now we have maybe my favorite song from the album, The Poltergeist. What's funny about this song is this sounds a lot like something the band Ghost would do. Now a lot of people say, what does Ghost have anything to do with like Merciful Fate or King Diamond or something like that? They sound like their own thing. Well, just listen to something like Poltergeist and compare it to that. Their whole sound pretty much sounds like this entire song. Has a lot of really cool organ work, and King Diamond sings incredible throughout this entire song. And I love that creepy vocal thing he does where he's like, oh! The atmosphere in the song is incredible, and he's pretty much just hitting highs the entire time. It's very depressing, and the atmosphere on this is absolutely incredible. It sounds like a horror movie sort of theme. The song then gets heavier and galloping, and it's so badass. Probably the best song off the album. Then we have Dreams, another amazing song. The beginning is just so absolutely batshit insane and chaotic. Everything is just going 1,000 miles an hour, and then all of a sudden it starts to kind of get weird and like mid-tempo or slow tempo, sort of with this like really weird, awkward sounding rhythm for the verse. Then all of a sudden the chorus is absolutely badass and memorable, where he's screaming dreams, dreams in the night, and that part is just so damn memorable. Maybe one of the most memorable parts off this whole album, and one of King Diamond's absolute best songs. The lead work on here is absolutely stellar as well. Then we have Moonlight, another amazing song. There's some really great heavy thrashy stuff in there, some really great vocal melodies. This song is very, very, very catchy, and I think would be extremely appropriate for like a single for the album. But like any other King Diamond album, they usually pretty much don't have any singles because they're kind of underground, especially during the 90s, because this album came out in the mid-90s. But another amazing track, sort of almost like a filler for the album. That's how good everything else on this album is. Then we have the song 6 Feet Under, which would also make for an incredible, incredible single. This song is actually like a alternate ending to the Conspiracy and Them story. I'm not absolutely sure about this song. Like, I don't really get the story to it. But let me tell you, this song is absolutely badass. It's pretty much thrashy and speed metal throughout the entire time. Then you get to the chorus that has one of the awesomest riffs the King Diamond Band has ever conjured. It is incredible. Another one of the absolute best songs of the album. This whole first half is almost reading like a greatest hits. That's how good this shit on here is. Then we have the song The Spider's Lullabye that pretty much begins the concept out of this album. And the concept pretty much revolves around insanity and stuff, mental asylums about spiders and shit. And this song is kind of probably the weakest off the album. It kind of plods along and it feels very cheesy in parts, but there are some really cool, dark, heavy riffs in there, but it just doesn't do enough for me. It's not great, but it's still pretty good, I guess. And this begins the story of Harry, who is terrified of spiders and finds a doctor who can try to cure his arachnophobia. Then we have another incredible song, Eastmans Cure. This one is speed metal and melodic at all times. It has this really great speed metal riff, then they'll throw organs and stuff over top of it, and it sounds very, very melodic. And the chorus of it is incredible, with King singing incredible, of course, high notes and shit. And then they do these incredible guitar solos at the end of it. Another awesome song, but it's not as memorable as some of the other stuff. That's just how good this album is. For an amazing song, it's probably one of the weakest off the whole album. Then we have one of my favorite King Diamond songs, Room 17. It's very progressive and ambient as hell. Once again, another song that sounds a lot like something the band Ghost would do. Some incredible organ work in there, and everything builds up this incredible atmosphere. There's a lot of very, very memorable lines from the song, like the part where it starts to get kind of heavy, where he's like, "Speak to me, my friend," dun dun dun, then he does this incredible scream. Then it has this awesome fucking speed metal verse and this really beautiful chorus. And then of course the awesome lengthy middle section make the song progressive in 8 minutes. It's all over the place with some incredible solos. Another amazing song. Instead of curing Harry, they start torturing him. And they have like spiders essentially bite him while he's like asleep from the drugs. And then people find Harry the next morning pretty much cocooned in spider webs, dead. Now the song To the Morgue is kind of pointless to the story. It doesn't really have anything to do with anything. And it has some really awesome parts all around it. However, the chorus doesn't really do too much for me. It's just to the morgue, over and over and over again. Kind of reminds me of Fortunes of War from Iron Maiden. You know, Fortunes of War, to the morgue. But like I said, there's some awesome thrashy bits in there, so it's definitely worth the listen. Just kind of one of the weaker songs on the album. So that's The Spider's Lullabye, an extremely strong King Diamond album. Although, I wish they maybe cut a song or two, and then this thing would be absolutely the best King Diamond album ever.